Hi, job seekers. Welcome back to Let's Hear It From, a career podcast powered by My Job Factory, where we bring forward impactful voices from the world of leadership and HR to guide, inspire, and empower today's job seekers. But before we jump into today's incredible discussion with an incredible guest, let me ask you three questions. What makes a candidate truly stand out to an employer? How do successful people handle rejection and tough times early in their careers? And if you want to enter healthcare or medtech without medical background, where do you start from? If these questions are giving you sleepless nights, you are watching the right podcast, because joining with us today is one Mr. Subir Batra. He is someone who has been a pioneer in the healthcare and medtech spaces in India. Subir ji is a BITS Pilani computer science graduate and an IIM Bangalore MBA. He is the founder and CEO of Quorit Wound Care, which is India's first company to offer complete wound management solutions. He is also the founder and CEO of Docuses, which is India's leading hospital procurement organization with a presence across India and South Asia. So, viewers, without wasting a single second, let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Let's hear it from Subir Batra. Subir ji, we are thrilled to have you here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Subir ji, I quickly come to the first question. Being a computer science graduate, my very first question is, what inspired to enter into the healthcare and medtech space, and how did you identify the gaps you wanted to solve? I can easily make it out
Yeah, that's
from your smile.
that's a very interesting question. But Ajay, if you look at most graduates, okay, if you look at most graduates from top tier schools who've been studied something, and you realize they end up doing something else completely. So this is not like a really
Rocket
a
science.
use case that is completely out of line with what
Okay.
happens in the world. So most of my friends, most of the people who I think graduated after, I mean, someone might have done chemical engineering, they could have done software. It's B farm people doing something else. This is like normal. I
No.
think if you
Oh, I
look at
see.
the last, at least the last 20-25 years of how the job market has
Right.
evolved in India or
Right.
even abroad, this is
Yes.
exactly what happens. So it's not that much of a surprise that I ended up doing something that I did not study.
But my question is very laser specific. What was your inspiration? How did you find the gaps, sir? And this is ये अंदर का founder पूछ रहे हैं sir आपको, not as a podcaster.
No, I was just getting to that. So, so throughout my career, right, I worked in consulting for a long time. And throughout my career, there are times here and there where I was doing consulting with, the big multinational firms in the healthcare space. So Abbott, Canal, etc. Now, after that, I realized, after a certain period of time, I realized that somewhere this whole working in a big corporation was not really what I really wanted to do, and I think that's where the entrepreneurship bug comes in. So I started up in healthcare. I started off with a company in the space of drapes, which is like
Okay.
disposable drapes, which was primarily used for infection control in so this actually came out of a conversation with a close friend of mine. They were doing something, and then they said, why don't you look at the space? So I took about a year and a half to look at the space, and I said, yeah, this is an emerging space. Now what really interested me there was it was at the cusp of taking a big leap. So it wasn't a stable industry. It wasn't an industry that was very well established in the country. So I said, the time to get into something is when you believe something's going to grow fast, and you get it early. So I did that for some time. Then I sold that company. But what happens is after COVID, this whole interest
Hmm.
came in. The real interest into wound care came in during COVID. So COVID, you're sitting at home, you're talking to people, and then you start noticing things. What I started noticing was that a lot of people, especially the elderly people, someone who's crossed 50, 55, 60, they had a lot of wounds. They had something or the other that was not healing. So chोट लगी हुई है वो ठीक ही नहीं हो रहा है.
Hmm.
For some it was small, for some it was, it became really big, especially as you age even more. These wounds were really, really, they were really spoiling the quality of life of these people. And I said, let's explore the space. As curiosity kicks in, you start thinking, let's explore the space, let's explore what is happening in the space. And then I realized that there was nothing really being done in India at that point in time
Okay.
to cure this. This was like a this was like a silent pandemic, and actually, world over, also a lot of people actually call it a silent pandemic because it's not something that's very out there in the open. I mean, if you don't look for something, you don't see it, right? It's like that pink Cadillac thing, right? Suddenly,
Right.
you start seeing everything that is pink. So so that's how it started, and I saw that the solution did not exist in India. There was a lack of education even among doctors on how to heal these things. The products were not there. The patients were not even sure if something can be done about their problem. A lot of them have had just given up. So I said, yeah, this is something that we need to get into. And I could again sense that this is a space that's going to grow in the future. So that's how the whole interest came in. It was something
Great.
that I realized was something to an extent also a social cause, right? Because you're trying to solve a problem that
Wow.
exists, which really did not have too many problems. So yeah, that's how it started. And then we did a lot of research, and then we came up with our own products. Took a year, 2 years, and then that's how this whole thing started.
Great, great. Such an amazing, such an inspiring story. Coming back to job seekers, typically for young professionals who are trying to enter into healthcare technology today, which is an emerging sector in India,
Hmm.
what career paths
Hmm.
and roles do you see, as promising, most promising?
I believe, first, this is at a very generic level. I believe that, you create your own career path. Again,
Okay.
that's one part of it. This again,
Yes.
what you could say is a very abstract kind of concept because, as someone said, um, no one can beat you at being you. Okay. So
Right.
if you are good at something, and if you do what you're good at, no one's going to beat you at it. So, and it is interesting that most people who succeed, and a lot of research is coming out from various places. Earlier, we used to believe that it was discipline, it was hard work, it was, we going after a goal, trying to achieve something, and that's what we achieve. But then, latest research and a lot of things that I see around also anecdotally, it seems that, people who do things they enjoy doing, right? They end up
Passion.
doing better. And if there is a space, yeah, the passion, but then the passion has to be in combination with the market opportunity,
Okay. All right.
right? So that's a very
That's
abstract level.
different.
But
Okay.
if someone is really wanting to get into into the healthcare space, I think, as with most industries, the AI is going to impact the healthcare
All,
space a
yes.
lot. So medtech
All.
is going to be impacted heavily by AI, right? All industries. So that is one space that you could look at and specialize in medtech. The other thing that you could do is, which a lot of people avoid doing, and that's too specific in India, is the hard sciences, the biosciences, biomaterials,
Oh, I
because
see.
I see the next wave of innovation from a product perspective also coming in from India. Today, you don't see any products being developed in India. And I talk to so many research institutes, even the top academic institutes where the professors, and I ask them why, where is the product? I mean, you say you do so much research, you say you do so many patents. Where is the product?
There
I
is.
mean, do I even see one healthcare product that has actually been developed in India? In India, not a copy, but something innovative that has been done. Uh, and they are now, I realize the thought process there is also changing. And I believe in the next 5 6 years, a lot of products will come out of India, which will be innovative, which will be specific to India, maybe, which will or be, multiple orders of time more effective than what is there in the West.
Wow.
So that research is going to shift to India. A lot of people also want to come into. So hard sciences is something that I think people should look at. That is completely ignored. People don't even want to think about it.
Oh, I
This is
see.
the next wave.
Going forward, Subirji, how important is domain knowledge in healthcare? From for someone who is coming from a technology or a business background, can simply passion and adaptability outweigh prior industry experience? Somebody who wants to change his sectors. So, what's your take on that?
Um, it is important, obviously. Domain knowledge is very,
Yes.
very, very
Yes.
important. Um, but but people have changed, right? I mean, I am an example of a person who's actually changed. So I have been doing consulting, I've been doing finance, I've been doing, other stuff, and I've moved into healthcare. It takes a little bit of time. You need to give it time. You need to have patience. Um, but again, someone told me this a long time back. If you really want to be successful in a domain, if you're really interested in a domain, one thing you need to have is a basic level of intelligence, right? You need three things. One is a basic level of intelligence. The second thing that you need is knowledge, which is the domain knowledge that you're talking about.
Right.
And the third thing is what is the fire in the belly, which is the ambition that you have. Do you really want to do it, or do you just want to talk about doing it? All of us, a lot of times, say we want to do this, we want to fix, the world, we want to fix politics in India, but we don't want to do it, right? We just want to talk about it.
Yes.
We don't take the step.
Right.
So you know, it is like this. If you have two of the three, the odds are in your favor, right? If you have intelligence and you have knowledge and you have ambition, obviously that no one's going to stop you. But if you have intelligence and ambition and not knowledge, knowledge can be generated, right? Knowledge can be acquired.
Gained.
So you can do that, but it takes a lot of effort. I mean, no
Right.
doubt about it. It takes a lot of effort, and it requires a lot of ambition to be able to do that. You really want to have to do that. Otherwise, you're going to give up in some time.
Sir, any unique challenges, professionals, job seekers who are facing in the healthcare, startups compared to other industries, and how they can prepare themselves for it?
Every industry is different, but every industry is similar. Okay. Every industry you go to, people are going to tell you my industry is totally different. It works completely different. But at 70% of the industries, everything remains similar. The 30% is what differentiates one industry from the other, and you have to kind of cater to that. So one major difference that I see in the healthcare space is you need to have a lot of patience. You need to have patience. If you don't have patience, forget the healthcare. Don't even get into the healthcare space. Because right from, like I said, innovation takes time. After innovation, there's a whole regulatory framework that you've got to navigate. That takes a lot of time. Then you have to convince your end users to use your products. And this takes a huge amount of time in healthcare, because if it is a new product, then doctors typically are risk averse. I mean, they don't want to play with someone's life or someone's health. So they would rather keep on using what they're using versus trying something which someone else comes and says is 2x better. Because the downside is so high, so much higher.
Right.
So if the upside is 2x, the downside is like 20x. If not, completely infinite. So you need to have a lot of patience in doing all of this. In any part of the healthcare, value chain you are, right from development of products to regulatory to operations to even sales, you need much more patience than, in most other industries. And the second thing, like you said, is knowledge. I mean, you will not be able to do anything in healthcare without domain knowledge. You have to be able to pick it up. And it is not easy to pick up. It is also a very, very varied field. It is also a very complicated field for people who don't have exposure to it. So I'll give you an example. When I got into this space and I was reading of stuff, right, about products, about medicines, about technologies, there were times where I could not pronounce. Okay, I could not pronounce the name.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how the medicines are named, right? You cannot.
Right.
You look at the molecules. They're like molecule would have like 20 words, a name that goes into 20 letters. So it is difficult. And I used to keep on reading, and then I used to go back to it, and then I used to think about it. Half the time I forgot what I'm talking about. So it took time. It took time to develop that, especially if you're not from that background.
Right. But sir, going forward with the rise of AI, data, and digital health, what future skills students and job seekers should start building to remain relevant in this field?
I think students need to move from activity mode to a more conceptual level, right? So far you were happy, you were getting jobs in, let's say, coding, right? Or you were getting jobs in making stuff. Now a lot of that will get automated. So what are you doing? You are actually telling the machines, whether it's AI or whether it's a robot or whatever it is, You're telling the machine what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. Either you're training the machine or you're telling the machine.
Telling.
In both cases, you need to know how it works. You need to know how it works. So the base level work, jobs are, even now as we see it, right? The base level jobs are just disappearing very, very, very fast. Even in the SaaS software, etc.
Right.
field. So coders, I mean, AI is doing the coding, right? AI is doing making videos. What you need to do is develop that conceptual understanding to say what video, what product,
Right.
what should this medtech
Right.
thing do, this appliance should do. So you need to be at that level. I think if you just stay at the very base level, there'll be a big problem. So conceptual understanding from physical doing, and that I think is the first thing that people should start thinking about.
Great. Sir, is this applicable to global opportunities also? Because my next question was, how do you see global opportunities for Indian talent in medtech sector, which is evolving? Can someone build a truly international career starting here in India?
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. Actually, that's if you asked me this 6 months ago, I would have said yes. But
Okay.
now with all the
Yes,
geopolitics
yes.
that's happening in the world, I don't know, right? I mean, a lot of people have built medtech careers starting from here. So, a lot of big companies have sourced talent from here. Um, and as the Indian research organizations, academic institutions become stronger in what they do, yes, it will happen. It will happen. It's actually happened even so far. I forget the US, but I think Europe is still there. A lot
Right.
of you'll see a lot of medtech leaders out there who are Indians. So I don't see that as a problem, and it'll become even better as more and more startups come into the space
Right.
who are actually doing cutting edge work.
Oh, I
So
see.
it will happen. I don't think that will remain a big issue. But again, you've got to realize what skills you want to look at. If you're looking at just plain, very simple skills, I mean, a very generic, I won't call it simple, but more generic skills, probably not. But if you go into, like I said, deep research, AI, product development, things like that, of course, people are always looking for talent.
So my next question is on leadership. What traits make someone a strong leader, especially in the healthcare sector or medtech innovation, and how can job seekers start developing those traits early in their career?
uh, One, if you know your stuff, people will respect you, and that clearly is there. So you need to have that. And second, you need to have the ability. I mean, people say this all that. These are very normal things, right? You need to be able to say no,
Okay.
because my philosophy is this: that if you give to someone, you're taking away from someone else. Okay, so it is a zero sum game. This is completely a zero sum game. If you're giving time or money or whatever it is you're giving to someone, or even a promotion, you're taking it away from someone else. So you have to be very careful what you're doing there. If I mean, there's enough. There's too much. I mean, too much theory out there for what leaders should end up be doing. But um, you need to live up to your decisions also, because a lot
Right.
of decisions that you take will not be the correct decisions, and you need to be able to accept that. So I see a lot of people who say, okay, I did this, so it's better be right, and everyone else does is wrong. So that is definitely there, and then you need to be able to listen and try to synthesize what other people can give you also. So I mean, there's enough leadership material out there, so I don't want to get too much into it.
Right, right. This won't end the discussion. I come to my final question, but this is not the last question of this episode. Finally, what excites you most about the future of health tech and medtech sector in India, and why should job seekers consider, building their career in this space?
I think medtech is an evolving field. Okay, like I said, it's medtech, health tech is really only taken off or started to get developed in the last 5 or 6 years, not more than that. Companies have not even and it takes time. So companies have not even reached this scale where they can say, okay, we're like we are competing with the best in the world, but we are getting there as a country. So, someone actually, I think I was listening to someone from in one of the podcasts, and they say AI is going to be big, EVs is going to be big, um, genome
Yeah, yeah.
biosequencing and genomes is going to be big. Yeah, I mean, all that is there. Genomics is also a part of health.
Mm.
But I'm telling you, health tech is going to revolutionize, how um, people look at health and how people are treated and how we see doctors, how doctors handle stuff. So this is an industry that is going to grow very, very fast. You just have to pick which area. I would say it's going to grow and especially in India, because India is still lagging. I would say it would be in my top five industries that are going to grow very, very fast. So if
Mm.
you want to do that, you have an interest in healthcare, this is the time to get in.
Great. Sir, questions from my side are over. And as mentioned earlier, there are two questions from students of Symbiosis College of Arts and Commerce who have
Hmm.
also wanted to ask questions in
Hmm.
this particular podcast. And
Hmm.
Symbiosis College of Arts and Commerce is a most happening and vibrant college in Pune, of which I am a proud
Hmm.
alumni. There are two stellar
Hmm.
questions from two students. One question is from Ayush Mishra. He has a question.
Ayush Mishra from Symbiosis College of Arts and Commerce, majoring in marketing in second year. So my question is that how can I build a big team, when I don't have much fund, but I have a big idea.
What's your take on that, sir?
Very difficult question. I mean, this is something that people have been grappling with for
Yes,
for ages, I think. I mean, I have an idea, I don't have a team, or I have an idea, but I don't have money. I mean, this is. I think what you've got to do is you've got to start small. You've got
small.
to keep in mind where you want to go, but you've got to demonstrate that you just don't have the idea, but you have the ability to implement that idea. If you don't do that, then people are not going to put money in you. It is, I mean, again, a lot of ideas are easy. Some ideas are not easy to develop, but I mean, what do you do with the idea if you can't implement? And why would you got to think about it? Why would someone take a bet on you? You basically want the support, the mentorship, the money, right?
Right.
So if you somewhere, even on a small scale, are not able to demonstrate that you can implement, then it's not going to happen. And today there are lots of incubators, right? Lots of incubators that are out there to
Right.
support. I don't know how well it works, but Symbiosis, I think, has an incubator.
Yes, yes, I am
At
sitting
least
in
on the
that
basic
very. Yes,
base.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of support that is out there compared to what was there 20 years ago.
20 years ago, right.
um, yeah. But the investment climate also keeps changing. There is always the flavor of the day with investors. All that is there, but you just have to stick to your idea and take support wherever support you can get,
Absolutely.
from incubators, from family, from friends. Forget about the next 5 years of your life, and then just go ahead and do what you want to do.
Forget about 5 years. I hope Ayush Mishra just pull up your socks and start working on this. The second question is from Satakshi Tyagi. She is a second year BCom student. Her question is,
Hello, my name is Satakshi Tyagi. I'm from St. Mary's College of Arts and Commerce and I'm in my third year. So my question is, is the college a good time to start something, or should we wait until we know more?
It depends. I mean, people have done it in college. I mean, there are lots of startups that have started out of college, done really well, become really big. I think there's some deep tech startups, space tech startups.
right,
All these have done well. I think it comes to when you are ready. Okay,
absolutely.
it just comes. You will know when you're ready. That's how it is. Whether it's in college, whether it's graduating out of college, whether it is after 15 years of working in the corporate sector,
Yes,
you will know when you're ready.
right.
Just trust yourself and go with it. That's all.
Sir, with this, I move, as mentioned earlier, I move to the rapid fire question wherein I expect you to answer either in one word or one sentence. My first question goes to you. Sir, one word that defines your leadership style.
You're asking really difficult questions here. I think inclusive. Inclusive.
Great.
I like
Great.
to
Great.
have people involved in what is happening.
Yes. Coffee or chai during long work days?
Chai, I mean, I don't really like coffee, so chai
Okay.
or maybe nothing. I mean, I can do without any caffeine.
Great, great. The best book you have read that has influenced your career.
My God. My God. This is a very, very, very difficult one. The
Uh,
best book that I've read. And then there used to be a old book called The Goal. This was
Oh,
like, in the 90s. Um,
okay.
that actually had a great influence on us. When we were growing up and we were in college. That was more operationally related. There was also this book. I mean, I'm just talking of books that are not very well known. There was this story about there was this book called Maverick, which was a story about a guy in Brazil who transformed his small family business into a huge business. So these were the inspirations to say, okay, someday I want to start something.
Okay.
Um,
That
but of
was
course, over a period of last few years, there have been a lot of books that
great.
influence.
So, one skill every job seeker should master.
Every job seeker should master ability to convince people.
क्या बात है? The most common mistake candidates make during an interview.
Over preparation.
My goodness. If not healthcare, which industry would you have chosen?
I don't know. I don't know. It could have been
I
anything. I
know,
was just.
I can.
It could be
Yes,
just
yes, yes.
about anything.
I know that you don't know. A mentor or a leader who inspired you the most.
Lots, but I don't take names. Rather not
Okay,
take names.
fine, fine.
Someone might get
Yes, yes.
more
I'm okay with it. You have
disappointed, so
answered
I
it.
don't
You have
want to do
answered
that.
it very well. And your last message to young professionals in one line.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Your message to young professionals in one line.
Um, Young professionals, I mean, don't get carried away by what other people are doing. Don't
Wow.
get carried away by the flavor of the day. Follow your own heart, but that does not mean that you just do what you want to do and not take into account the surroundings. And very, very important, take advice
Great.
because I like to say this. Even a king has its own courtiers, so
Yes.
even a king needs advice. So
Yes.
you also need a lot of advice starting up, but take advice from people who have the knowledge. Okay,
Right.
very often, and I think this is that someone said this. I forget who it was. This most people, and most of the time, we take advice based on proximity and not based on relevance.
Oh.
It basically means we
Hmm.
ask people who are close to us for advice, but those people might not have the knowledge or the
Knowledge.
expertise to give you the right
Yes.
advice. So seek out advice from people who have the ability to give you the right advice. So I could
Correct.
I could go and ask my mother about health tech. I mean, what am I going to get out of
What?
it, right?
Yes. Right.
So
Very, very aptly said,
so
sir.
look at relevance, not proximity.
Right.
That is
Right.
very important.
So, viewers, with this, we come to the end of this particular episode of Let's Hear It From. Thank you so much, Subirji, for sharing your journey, your philosophy on hiring, and those valuable career lessons. I'm sure our listeners will definitely walk away with a lot of clarity and inspiration. And to all our job seekers and young professionals tuning in, remember the career path is never a straight line. Stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to take those bold steps, just like the leaders we feature here. So, viewers, if you have enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to Let's Share It From on YouTube and share it with friends who are looking for career aspirations. So, thank you so much once again. Until next time, my name is Ajay Adhankar. Keep learning, keep growing, and let's hear it from the next leader very soon. Bye for now.